Welcome everybody. So in our previous classes, we have seen what is the fluid, what is the properties of the fluid. We saw a few problems on the properties of a fluid. We saw what is pressure of a fluid and how to determine the pressure intensity. That is, the pressure intensity at a depth is equal to rho GH. Okay, rho GH. That is what we have seen in the previous classes, and we saw a few problems also. Now, in today's class, we are going to see how we can measure a pressure. That is measurement of pressure. How this pressure is measured with the help of some instruments. Okay, so the pressure intensity of a fluid can be determined using manometers and mechanical gauges. So you have two different types of instruments to measure this pressure. So first type of instrument is called manometers and the second type of instruments is called mechanical gauges. So in our syllabus we have to study about manometers. So let us see what is a manometer. So manometer, it is a device used for measuring the pressure at a point in a fluid by balancing the column of the fluid by the same or another column of fluid. So, see, what does it mean? It is a device used for measuring the pressure at a point in a fluid. That means if you have a fluid body, if this point is A, these manometers are used to measure the pressure at A. And the principle of manometer is it balances the column of fluid by the same or another column of fluid. So it balances the fluids. So you will have a column, you will have columns and you will have liquid in the columns. So with the help of this liquids, with the help of the fluid in the columns, you will be able to measure the pressure. That is what is called manometers. Now, the manometers can be simple manometers or differential manometers. Now, simple manometers are used to measure the pressure at a point and differential manometers are used to find the difference of pressure between 2 points. That means, listen, if you have a water body, you have this point A, point B. So, pressure at A and pressure at B will be different. So, this simple manometers will help you to measure the pressure at A. Another simple manometer will help you to measure the point at B, pressure at B. But differential manometer will help you to measure the difference in pressure between this point, that is between the point A and B. So we have manometers, and in the manometers we have simple manometers and differential manometers. Now let us see what is a simple manometer. So simple manometer, it consists of a glass tube. It consists of a glass tube having one of its ends connected to a point where the pressure is to be measured. Okay. So you have a glass tube and this glass tube will be connected to a point where the pressure is to be measured. And the other end remains open to the atmosphere. So the other end of the other end of the manometer will remain open to the atmosphere. This is atmosphere. So the examples of simple manometers are piezometers, U-tube manometers and single column manometers. And we have to study these both manometers, that is piezometers and U-tube manometers. Single column is not given in our syllabus. Okay, so now let us see what is piezometer and what is U-tube manometers. Now, this piezometer, see, it is a type of manometer, right? Piezometer is the simplest form of manometers. So, this is a type of simple manometer. That means, if it is a simple manometer, it is used to measure the pressure at a given point. So, at point A. So, this is point A. Now, one end of the manometer is connected to a point. Now this is what is called manometer, right? This is your manometer. So this is called piezometer because this have a tube of this L-shaped tube. That is why it is called piezometer. So one end of the manometer is connected to the point where the pressure is to be measured. So one end of the piezometer. So this is one end. One end of this piezometer is connected to the point A where the pressure is to be measured, and the other end is open to the atmosphere. This is the other end of the piezometer. This is open to the atmosphere. Now, see, we will place this manometer at the point A. So what happens is there will be a rise in liquid. So here in piezometer, we are not using another liquid, right? So the liquid what in the water body will get rise in the piezometer. So this rise of liquid gives the pressure head at that point. So how much distance to how much height this is raised? To how much height this liquid in the water body at point A has raised in the piezometer. So this rise is called head or pressure head. So H is called the pressure head. Pressure head at point A. Now we know the pressure intensity at point A, the formula is rho GH. Rho is the density of the given liquid, G is acceleration due to gravity, and H is the pressure head. It is H, you can mention it as H or Z. So rho I am writing as H. So rho GH. Therefore, pressure intensity at point A will be equal to rho GH. The unit is Newton per meter square. Rho is the density of this given liquid. G is the acceleration due to gravity, and H is the pressure head. How much head has been raised in the piezometer tube or manometer, simple manometer. This is called piezometer. This is how to measure the pressure at a point using piezometer. Now let us see the next type of simple manometer, that is U-tube manometers. Okay, let us see what is U-tube manometer. See, piezometer, it consists of an L-shaped tube, L-shaped glass tube. Here, in the U-tube manometer, it consists of a U-tube glass tube, U-shaped glass tube. Okay, so you can see here, this is a U-shaped glass tube. So U-tube manometer consists of a glass tube bent in U shape. So manometers are nothing but it consists of glass tubes. Piezometer consists of L-shaped glass tube. Now U-tube manometer consists of U-shaped glass tube. Now here also the one end is connected to the point where the pressure is to be measured. So this is one end of the U-tube. So this end is connected to the point A where pressure is to be measured, and the other end remains open to the atmosphere. So this is the other end of the U-tube manometer, and this remains open to the atmosphere. Now, the tube generally consists of mercury or other liquid where the specific gravity is greater than the specific gravity of liquid. See, in piezometer, we didn't have another liquid in this tube. Just we placed the piezometer and the liquid got raised in the piezometer. Here in the U-tube manometer, we have another liquid, normally mercury. So this liquid you can see it in red color, right? So this tube consists of a liquid, heavier liquid. The liquid whose specific gravity is heavy. So this is heavier liquid, right? Heavy liquid. And the water body consists of light liquid. Okay. So the U-tube generally consists of mercury or other liquid where the specific gravity is greater than the specific gravity of the liquid whose pressure is to be measured. Now, you understood this, right? You understood what is the difference between a piezometer and a U-tube manometer. Listen, so U-tube manometer, now it consists of two liquids. One is a light liquid at which the pressure is to be measured, and the other one is the heavy liquid in the manometer. So, listen, in the piezometer you had only one pressure head, only one H. Now here we have two liquids, so that we will have two heads, H1 and H2. Okay, we have two liquids, so we have two heads, H1 and H2. So, listen, where you can see there is a place where these two liquid gets separated here, right? So, this point will be taken as your reference line. So, this U-tube manometer is used for measuring the gauge pressure as well as for the vacuum pressure. We know the gauge pressure is always measured above the atmospheric pressure and the vacuum pressure is measured below the atmospheric pressure. We have studied this in the last class. Okay. So, gauge pressure is measured above the atmospheric pressure and the vacuum pressure is measured below the atmospheric pressure. The gauge pressure is positive, the vacuum pressure is negative. Now, see this case, this diagram, you have two diagrams. So, this is our first diagram for U-tube manometer. So, here the rise of the heavier liquid is above the point A. So, we will use this for finding the gauge pressure. The second type of diagram is this. That is, see the height of the heavier liquid is below the point A. So, this is used for measuring the vacuum pressure. So, here the place where the two liquids separate is this. Okay. Now, in the first case, the datum, see always the datum line is also known as reference line. So, this is the datum head, datum line or reference line is AA. And this is called datum head, okay. This height will be called as datum head. So, this datum head or the reference line should be chosen at the bottom separation, okay, at the bottom. So, here for finding the gauge pressure, that is if the heavier liquid is above the point A, the datum is chosen at this point, that is the point where this heavier liquid and lighter liquid is getting separated. So, this will be your datum. For the second case, that is for the vacuum pressure, your datum will be taken at the point where at the top of the heavier liquid, that is at this point. This is taken as datum. So, the rise of the heavier liquid is below the point A. So, this will be taken as the datum. The first case, the separation will be taken as the datum. Now, see AA is our datum line. In both the cases, AA is the datum line, but you should know where to take the datum line. Okay. If the heavier liquid rise is above A, you take the separation. If it is below A, take the top of the heavier liquid. That is your datum line. Now, what is H1 and H2? So, H1 is the height of the lighter liquid above the datum line. And H2 is height of the heavier liquid above the datum line. See, this H1 and H2 are heads. Okay, some heads. So, height or heads. So, H1 is taken above the datum line for the lighter liquid and H2 is taken above the datum line for heavier liquid. Okay, so this is lighter liquid is where you have to find the pressure. Heavier liquid is used for finding the pressure. So H1 is the height or the head of the lighter liquid above the datum, and H2 is the height of the heavier liquid above the datum. For the second case also, H1 is the height of the liquid above the datum. H2 is the height of the heavier liquid above the datum. Now, we have S1 and S2 is the specific gravity of the lighter liquid and S2 is the specific gravity of the heavier liquid. Now, how will we find the gauge pressure? See, here the concept is the pressure intensity is the same for the horizontal surface or datum. Okay, this is the importance. See, this is why we have taken the datum. See, without considering the datum, you will not be able to find the pressure. So, the principle behind this manometer is the pressure intensity is the same for the horizontal surface. That means, if you are taking the datum, the pressure intensity at this point. See, this point can be taken as 1, this point can be taken as 2. So, the pressure intensity at 1 will be equal to the pressure intensity at 2. Okay, that is the meaning of that. That is, the pressure is the same along the horizontal surface. Pressure intensity at 1 will be equal to pressure intensity at 2. Here also the pressure intensity at 1, this will be the datum 1, this will be the section 2. So pressure intensity at 1 will be equal to pressure intensity at 2. We know the pressure intensity is rho GH. Pressure intensity is rho GH. Now, what will be the pressure intensity at 1? See, here at this point, at point A, we have the pressure. So that is called pressure at A. So pressure intensity at 1 will be equal to pressure intensity at A plus pressure intensity due to the height H1. Similarly, the pressure intensity at 2 will be equal to, here we don't have, in this column we don't have any points of liquids. So there is only pressure due to H2. So it is the pressure intensity due to H2. So what we get is PA plus rho 1 GH1. Okay, I repeat, PA plus rho 1 GH1 is equal to rho 2 GH2. So I will write here. So what we get is pressure at A plus rho 1 GH1 is equal to pressure at 2, that is rho 2 GH2. Same way, for vacuum pressure, pressure at 1 will be equal to PA plus rho 1 GH1 plus rho 2 GH2. At 2, there is no pressure because above the datum there is no pressure. So that is equal to 0. Okay. For this is the pressure. This is the pressure at 1. This is the pressure at point 2. So pressure at point 1 is equal to pressure at point 2. That is why it is PA plus rho GH1 is equal to rho GH2. Here also pressure at 1 is equal to pressure at 2. So pressure at 1 is equal to rho PA plus rho GH1 plus rho 2 GH2 equal to pressure at 2 is equal to 0. Okay, that is gauge pressure. So how to find the gauge pressure and vacuum pressure? So pressure intensity is the same for the horizontal surface, and pressure above datum in the left column will be equal to the pressure above datum in the right column. Okay, that is your pressure at 1 will be equal to pressure at 2. So equating we get PA, pressure at A plus rho 1 GH1 is equal to rho 2 GH2. So we get, substituting the values, we will get the pressure at A. Similarly, for the second case, also pressure at the section 1 will be equal to pressure at the section 2. Pressure at the section 2 is 0. Pressure at section 1 is PA plus rho 1 GH1. So from this we can get PA, that is pressure intensity at A, is equal to minus of rho 1 GH1 plus rho 2 GH2. So thank you. Thanks for listening. That is all for today. So in the next class we will see a few problems.